Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Adebanjo Faith Adeola and I film about faith, parenting and lifestyle from Lagos, Nigeria. Today I'll be talking about toy or shelf rotation. Toy or shelf rotation. Now, if you're a parent like me, especially the women, especially the mothers, you know how stressful it is and how stressful it is keeping the house tidy. Now, when you begin to have children one upon the other, you know that the house usually is a mess, especially when they just finish playing. I mean, you will see a whole lot of toys all over the house. Now, there is a way and a method, especially in the Montessori setting, where you can avoid the mess altogether. If your child has a big bag of toys, he or she won't have to start to uproot and pull out everything in there just to get to their own favorite toys. So the system I will be introducing to us, in case you're new to Montessori, is a method of kind of arranging your child or children's toys neatly out in a shelf like you see in my background here, whereby they know that this is where their toys are arranged, and it just helps keep the house more organized. I'll be explaining to us how we can arrange our toys in such a way that we won't have a whole lot of toys out in a mess in the house. At the same time, your child or your children can make the best out of every Montessori toy or toys that we have out for him or her. So stay with me. The first point I would like to note here is that less is more. You might think that you need to get the whole toys in the whole world to keep your child, or to get your child busy, or to keep your children busy. But I would like to say that you do not have to have the whole, plenty toys out at the same time. In Montessori, less is more. As much as it's a good thing in Montessori to present your child with options, the best is to keep the options as minimal as possible. So the less toys we have out, the better it is for you and for your child. That way your child will even be able to concentrate more. As we know, they have wandering eyes, and if they are working on one, they could just get easily distracted if they see another one close by, or they just see so many. It could even be overwhelming for them. So the less we have outside, like I said, the better it is for us. Now, you may want to ask, what do you do with the remaining toys? Do you throw them away? No. After selecting, in a moment I'll be explaining how to even know which particular toys to keep out arranged for your child. But after even selecting those toys, what do you do with the rest? You simply store them in storage boxes, maybe in a closet, or in the store, or in your basement, or wherever it is. Just keep it stored away from the reach of your child. In another video, I would be explaining how I feel is good or is best to store toys aside the ones that will be out on a shelf. That will be when I have been able to sort mine out. I'm still in the process of keeping toys arranged and storage of toys. What does that make sense? Okay, now the third point I would like to note is that you observe your child. How do you know what toys to bring out? How do you know what toys to keep on your shelf, to keep arranged? How do you know it? So I think the basics of everything is just observe your child. So in observing your child, there are some questions you would like to take note of. Note, when you observe your child, you just allow them play, and while they play, you watch what they do. The first thing is there a particular toy, or are there particular toys that they tend to gravitate towards every time they play? That is one indicator. Secondly, are there obvious developmental skills your child is working on? For example, are they currently working on hand-eye coordination? You might see, just like I uploaded on my Instagram the other day, your child putting the food in his or her plate into the cup, transferring items from one place to another. Do they seem to be climbing all the time these days, or do they seem to want to just, you know, play with things that are on wheels? So what obvious developmental skill do you think your child, or do you observe rather, that your child is working on? That's another indication of the kind of toy to put out for him or her. Another question you might want to ask is, are there toys that you observe that they seem to be disinterested in? You know, of course, there are toys that they are very much interested in. There are also toys that they seem to be very much disinterested in. Those are examples of toys that you would need to keep away for the moment. And you will notice that this is what your child is interested in. You will just notice. They will give you the clue, you know, and that is how you would know what kind of toys to put out for them. Now, the arrangement of the toys. You now know what toys, you know, the categories of toys that you feel your child, or you've observed that your child is working with, or, you know, they are ready to work with, or would be good for them to practice whatever skill, you know, they are working on at that moment. Now, how do you arrange your toys? Ideally, in a Montessori setting, or in every Montessori home, not every anyways, you would see, most of the time you would see a shelf, okay, and toys are neatly arranged, beautifully displayed in a shelf. Note, there is no specific way a shelf would look like. If you notice, mine is looking different from those you might see online, those you might see in some other Montessori homes you've observed. So there is no hard and fast rule. Like I said in one of my videos, I just, you know, picked pieces of wood around the house and gave it to the carpenter to put it together for me, and voila, I have my shelf. If you do not have a shelf, you could use a space. Any space you have in your house, provided it is accessible to your child, is fine. Okay, so you have your shelf, you have your space. Toys are also beautifully arranged in baskets or trays. Now, because of the nature of what Montessori is, we usually encourage, why I said we, you would notice that most Montessori homes arrange stuff in baskets, woven baskets, or wooden trays, and that is because it is encouraged to use natural materials as much as possible. That way it is not overstimulating, and you know, natural materials have this beauty they add to your home. So, but if you do not have it, my dear brothers and sisters, no need to stress yourself. Whatever basket you have in your house, whatever bowl, whatever tray you have in your house, you can make do with it. Before I got any of these baskets you see, started with one of my onions baskets that was not functioning at the moment. I just washed it nicely, and that was what I started with. So each activity should be clearly spaced. For example, in a basket or in a tray, you could have a particular activity. An example is, if your child is currently working on maybe hand-eye coordination, and they are big enough, you feel that they are big enough to start to practice how to fix a key into a padlock. In a tray, they call it activity tray or activity basket. In a tray, you can just place that a particular padlock, or 2 or 3 different kinds of padlock, and their keys nicely on that tray, and put it in one corner or section of your shelf. Another activity can be placed beside it, provided there is a distinct, at least there is a clear space between the both of them, that anybody that gets there will know that this is a separate activity and this is a separate activity. What this helps is that when your child gets there, you know, children have this sense of order in their own, they have this sense of order. So when they get there, they know that this is where this thing is, this is what this one is for, and they can pick that activity without, you know, destroying or scattering any other activity that is laid out on the shelf. I would like to also note here that it is not wise to put in a particular basket 2 different activities in one basket. Just like placing your true padlock and key in one basket, and then you now place a doll close to it. What's the function of the doll there? Nothing. So if you want a doll on your child's shelf, or maybe sensory balls, whatever it is that is another activity, they should be in a separate tray, provided it is serving a different purpose entirely. Now, briefly using our shelf as an example, if you notice in this basket we have bean bags. I just made these bean bags for my 10-month-old, and in this my paper tray, I have heart-shaped puzzle there. It is clear that these two are separate. Now, because I don't have so much space, I do not have enough space in between the both of them, but it is clear that they are two different activities. Looking down, these are sea figurines, a different category altogether. And then we also have the wooden blocks, a different activity altogether. So in this case, we have a demarcation. So if your shelf has the opportunity of having a demarcation, beautiful. In this place, we do not have a demarcation, and it does not stop me from putting more than one activity on it. So the all idea is just so that the toys will be attractive to your child when they come around, and they will want to go there and work on something. Now, another point I would like to note is that toys can be repeated. If you observe that your child is now disinterested in a particular activity, or has mastered a particular skill and is ready for a new type of skill or a new skill altogether, that is a clue that you can take off that activity and replace with another one. Hence the name shelf rotation. What this does, or what this helps, is number one, this gives your child the opportunity to master a particular skill, to master a particular activity before jumping into another one. A toy that has been put away can always be repeated. That way the child finds new ways. It's possible for the child to even see a more creative way of playing with that particular toy. It's possible that child is even much older now than when he or she was using that particular toy. So you do not have to worry or think about buying new toys. As soon as he or she is disinterested in this toy, then you need to throw it away and get a new toy. No, that is not necessary at all. Just keep it away in your storage box or your storage, wherever you're storing your toys. And then after some time, you can observe that, okay, this child can find a better way of playing with this particular toy, since he or she is now more advanced. So he or she can find a more advanced way of working on that toy. So you could actually rotate toys like that. As per how often to rotate, there is no strict time. It depends on the pace of your child. It depends on what your child needs at a particular time. It could be that this week the child gets disinterested in this one, and it could be that after a month, 2 months, that toy is still reigning. So just observe and flow with it. As time goes on, I will be uploading activities that I suggest that your child or your children, based on my own daughter, can do as depending on their ages. So if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe and share with those parents you think this would be helpful for, because I'll be uploading a lot of stuff as the weeks and the months run by the grace of God. So before I end this video, the benefit of all of this is that your child will grow up to be an organized individual. As there is this saying in Montessori that everything in its place, everything has a place. If you even you as an adult have that mindset that everything in its place, everything has a place, so when you're done with this particular item, you return it to that place, and when you're done with this one, as soon as you're done with it, you return it to that place, you would observe that you are even an organized person. And the same thing works for your own child. As soon as they are done with a toy, you encourage them. I didn't say shout on them or force them, but you encourage them by showing it to them, by modeling it, how to return or how to clean up after themselves. In another video, I will be talking about how to help or teach a child to clean up after him or herself, especially this, to even from babies. So watch out for that. If you so far enjoyed this video, please, I would like you to give it a thumbs up. That way you're telling me and you're telling YouTube that you enjoyed this video. And watch out, by God's grace, for more contents like this and general content about parenting and lifestyle. Until next time, see you. Bye.